Hey everybody, how are y'all doing? Welcome to American Courts Live. Hadn't done this in a while. I always had Allie with me, but she's on vacation today. So we got Judge Webster, we got Judge O'Donnell, and we've got Judge Rosie. Which one you want to see first? I want to say thank you to Brecken. Brecken did an interview with me earlier. I'm going to cut it up and make some good out of it. She did great. I was really proud to get to meet her a little bit. Looks like everybody's making cookies. That's what we need to see. Well, hey, I got Fozzie in the room. How about that? Well, with having Fozzie in the room, I won't mention that we've got a Judge Boyd one in here too, but we'll start off with Judge Rosie. Let's see how that goes.
And I'll be covering this compliance hearing. The officer had to leave for an emergency.
Okay. Tell the officer or whoever typed this, they have an issue with spelling the word reports. They keep typing reprots. Just saying.
It's a new word at the department office.
Yeah, I'm sure, like all the other text message words that come up in here.
Okay, Your Honor, I'm ready.
Let's get on the record in case number 688609 in the matter state of Texas versus Miss Angelina Ann Calvillo. Can I get announcements from the state and from probation?
Jordan Sims for the state of Texas.
Marie Martinez for probation.
And we do not have defense counsel ready because there will be no adverse action taken against Ms. Calvillo today. Ms. Calvillo is present on Zoom. And I'm going to read a supplemental report onto the record so we have a good understanding of Ms. Calvillo's lack of compliance. On August 17, 2023, the above named defendant, Ms. Calvillo, was granted 10 months of probation and extended for a total of 8 months of deferred adjudication supervision for assault causing bodily injury to a family member. To date, Ms. Calvillo has a no contact order with an individual and no issues have been reported. I guess with that individual, I'm assuming that individual is a complaining witness, Ms. Officer Martinez. She is still responsible for 40 community service or restitution hours. In the past 6 months, she has 6 failed to submit on August 15th of 2024, June 24th of 2024, April 10th of 2024, February 28th of 2024, January 19th of 2024, and December 23rd of 2023. Since the supplemental report was submitted on November the 23rd of 2023, allowing Ms. Calvillo additional 15 days to enroll in BIP, she has failed to do so. During office visit on August 12th, 24, she was given a deadline of August 21st to enroll. On September 16th, 2024, Ms. Calvillo failed to report due to having phone issues and childcare. She last reported on the August 2nd, 2024, stating her brother would be assisting her in paying for the course. The case is set to expire February 16th, 2025. Ms. Calvillo is delinquent $945. Restitution of $100 is owed. She reports to be unemployed and is receiving financial assistance from family. So, when I got that report, Ms. Calvillo, I ordered the department to set this matter for a compliance hearing. I also ordered them to instruct you to submit to a TAP evaluation and follow recommendations. In addition to that, you were ordered to attend in-person sober support meetings 3 times a week, and there was a zero tolerance order attached to that. Officer Martinez, what do you want to apprise the court of?
Your Honor, probation is recommending at this time that we extend her probation for 6 months and order her to enroll in BIP within the next 5 days and complete a job readiness program. She is required to work while she's on probation. The justification is that the probation has been given a prior opportunity to complete BIP, but has yet to do so. A job readiness program will provide the probationer with job skills while also helping her apply for jobs and complete a resume. This will help the probationer obtain employment so that she can pay for the class. My concern is the total lack of compliance with something as simple as providing a UA to registering for BIP. And she's been given a total of 16 months to complete these things. And it seems like she has more excuses than effort. And I don't know how the court wants to proceed at this time.
This is how the court wants to proceed. I don't want to hear from her. She's listening. You are to file a motion to revoke her probation immediately. If she is not in full compliance by the time we are in court on that motion, we will proceed with the hearing on the motion to revoke her.
Yes, Your Honor.
If she is in full compliance by then, you have the authority to withdraw the motion to revoke her probation. And
Yes,
let
Your
me
Honor.
be clear, she must be in full compliance, not 90% compliant, not 95% compliant, not 99% compliant, 100% compliant, because that's the documentation she signed, and that's the order that says she must comply with. We're not playing games with you here, Ms. Calvillo. This is adult probation. And you're either going to start to act like an adult, or you're going to end up sitting with an orange uniform on for an entire year at the Bexar County Jail. You will miss your child's birthday. You will miss your child's Christmas. You will miss your child, period, for a whole year. Is that what you want? Don't answer that question. I need you to be fully compliant by the time I see you again. Understood? Let the record reflect she's nodding yes.
Additionally, Your Honor, I wanted to let you know that she informed her probation officer that she did not need to attend sober support meetings.
She's ordered to do so. She may not need, you're ordered to do it. If you don't want to do it, you're going to give me a year at the Bexar County Jail, just like I have the discretion to order you to do. Understood, Ms. Calvillo? I don't care what you think you need or don't need. Evidently, you don't know what you need because you're in front of me and you're in this court non-compliant with your conditions of probation, facing 1 year at the Bexar County Jail. So I'm not asking you to like it. You don't have to like it. I'm not asking your opinion. I'm ordering you to do specific things. You can either do them or not. I've already told you where you're going to end up if you don't do them. We'll see you in court the next time you're in court. That concludes today's proceeding.
Well, I think she said what she needed to say there. Judge Rosie was not in the mood for that one, so that's a good one to get the show started because it's going to be one of those shows today. We've got a couple of good Judge O'Donnells. We're going to jump into one of those, and then we'll sneak in that Boyd one for Fozzie.
We're ordered to complete the program at Edna House and follow all recommendations. You left on February 27th. You've been gone ever since. You understand the charge?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Tomaszek, what does she want to do?
Thank you, Your Honor. I had a chance to speak with Ms. Talbert. She would like to admit to the probation violation today.
Is that what you want to do?
Yes, sir.
All right, what's your plea to the violation?
Guilty, Your Honor.
I'll accept your guilty plea and find you guilty. Where the hell you been?
I'm going to be honest with you, sir. I've been running the streets,
Why?
not doing what I'm supposed to do because
Why not?
I wasn't ready to do
Well, when are you ready? I mean, why don't we set a calendar that gives you the schedule? You can tell me when you're ready. Sometime in 26, 27, 28, would you like to, you want me to let you out on bond so you can run the streets and then you can come back when you're ready?
No, sir.
Okay, now. You got four assaults as a juvenile, a bunch of probation violations.
Yes, sir.
You got a harassment with a bodily substance in Trumbull County. In December of 21, when you were 20 years old, you get sent to NeoCap. You bolt out the door at NeoCap. You were sent to NeoCap by Judge Logan after you didn't show up a bunch of times for probation.
Yes, sir.
You bolt out the door at NeoCap. So I put you on probation. Where was the first place you went?
To a CBCF in Lorraine County.
And you left that place. How long were you at that place?
Not that long, Your Honor.
Why did you leave?
I believe I got into some trouble. I think I got dishonorably discharged.
Why?
Um, I think I got into it with one of the females there.
Why?
Because, well, I don't want to blame it on her. I have to put some of it on myself as well. But she had threw mulch, and I reacted to it in a way that I shouldn't have. I should have been more adult, and I should have walked away, and I didn't, and I chose not to. So that caused them to dishonorably discharge me.
And you left Edna House, why?
I left Edna House because honestly, I wasn't ready to stop getting high.
Why didn't you tell me that back in February so I could just send you to prison? Then you can go to prison and get all the meth you want and get high.
Because I don't. That's not what I want. I don't want to go to prison, and I don't want to get high anymore.
Okay. You have a funny way of showing it. What's this burglary all about?
They tried to say that I broke into my sister's house, but my sister gave me permission. That's why they didn't. That's why the charges got dropped. My sister's the one that has my daughter. The neighbors said that they seen somebody breaking into her house, but I wasn't breaking into her house because she gave me permission. And that's why she didn't pursue with the charges. And they got dropped. I had went to my sister's house to see my daughter.
One of the things that has been related to me is that you resent having to listen to other people tell you what to do. Is that right?
I resent other people telling me what to do. No, I have an issue. I had an issue with authority.
With
And,
what?
like, not authority, but like I just I'm not used to. I wasn't used to having a schedule, having a set schedule, or
Why not?
because you can't be used to something you've never had.
Well, how can you get used to it if you never implement one?
Well, I wasn't.
When are you going to do that?
I started the day that I got arrested from Trumbull County.
When?
On the 15th.
We.
And I honestly, before the 15th, I wasn't ready to stop using drugs. And
Why not?
because I wasn't happy.
What is the great benefit that you've gotten from using drugs such that you want to keep doing it? What's the benefit?
I don't know. I wanted to escape it. I don't know. I wanted to escape from the reality of life in some type of way, and that was my escape.
So I've never done methamphetamine. So when you're under the influence of it, does that eventually wear off?
It's just like, for me, it was just like, at first, I was using opiates because I didn't want to be up. But then I started having bad nightmares. So then I didn't want to go to sleep. I didn't know which was worse, my life or my dreams.
Okay, so that's what you weren't, so that whole thing, you weren't ready to give that up.
No, I wasn't ready to accept myself, Your Honor.
Okay. So what benefit did that provide to you?
Nothing. It just took and it took and it took and it took. It took everything.
Okay, now, wasn't that the purpose of going into treatment? To try to figure this stuff out, to stop using the drugs, to figure out why you were using the drugs, and to get yourself in a position where you're not listening to people tell you what you have to do every waking moment?
Sir.
Wasn't that the point of it?
Yes, sir.
But you didn't want to do that.
No, sir. I wasn't ready, Your Honor.
Okay, I don't know what that means. Honest to God, people tell me they weren't ready. I don't have the foggiest idea what that means.
It means I wasn't ready to accept myself. I wasn't ready to accept. I wasn't ready to accept the fact that you were willing to fight for me when I wasn't willing to fight for myself. I wasn't willing to accept the help that other people were willing to give me. I wasn't ready for that. I had to be ready to save myself before I could let you save me, or I could let the people
I don't save anybody. I don't save anybody. All I do is impose conditions on people that may or may not help them help themselves. I've never saved a person. I don't have the ability to save a person. I don't have the power to save a person.
I have to want to save myself, Your Honor.
So there's really nothing I can do for you. Because you haven't listened to a goddamn thing I've said. So the only good thing about today is I ain't sentencing you today. Otherwise, you would be on a really tight schedule in a place that you never want to go. You know, this stuff about you, I mean, your past is your past. And it wasn't very pleasant, right? Right?
Yes, sir.
And there's nothing you can do to change what happened, right?
Yes, sir.
So you can do one of two things. How old are you now?
I'm 23, Your Honor.
23. You can either spend the next several decades coming into places like this and talking about how bad it was in the past and it's hopeless, you can't do anything about it, or you can do something about it. I can't do a thing about it. So you're 23 with 2 felonies, and the fact that you're a soft-spoken person who tries to elicit sympathy doesn't work very well. So knock off the shit, okay? Listen to Ms. Tomazik, and then maybe you won't go to prison. Got it?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Now that's the best way for the judge to end that court. I'd much rather him talk about how I could go to prison than send me to prison. So look at the prosecutor's table. That table is so clean and nice and reflective. I stared at it for a while earlier, trying to think, was I seeing through the table or was the camera picking up an optical illusion or something? But that's just a pretty clean table, and so you're seeing the part of the wall and part of the boards there. That was pretty neat. Like I said, I was tripping on it earlier, trying to figure out what the hell I was looking at, and so, all right, let's knock that Boyd out. Let's go see what she had.
Calling 2023 CR 0290 State versus Virginia Vella-Torres. Can I have parties announced for the record? State. Defense.
Your Honor, good morning. Frankie Sandoval on behalf of Ms. Vella-Torres.
And are you Ms. Vella-Torres? All right, I'm going to need you to keep your voice up so that I can hear.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. You entered a plea on October 3rd of no contest. The court found there was sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court deferred finding of guilt. According to the plea bargain agreement, punishment is to be assessed at a cap of 16 months. All right, State, what are you requesting?
16 months, Your Honor.
All right, defense, what are you requesting?
Your Honor, if the court would consider, if I may, Your Honor, 16 months would not be adequate punishment. I'm going to say it again, would not be adequate punishment for Ms. Vella-Torres. And that is from her words to me. When she read what Ms. Gaitan's daughter said about still having memories of her teacher taking her bracelet, stealing her bracelet. It cut Miss Vela Torres, it pained her like a knife to the bone. She's the internal punishment that she is putting herself through for allowing the financial difficulties that COVID brought around during that time to trigger her doing these acts is one that she's still recovering from. However, Your Honor, confinement in the interest of justice for 16 months wouldn't serve justice in the sense that there is much, as you've heard from Ms. Torres's daughter and from the pre-sentence investigation, contribution that Ms. Torres can make to society. She's a good worker, worked multiple jobs, had elevated positions in multiple jobs, had this one, albeit big hiccup, but it's one that she's been paying the price for. She's been, during the time of, between the occurrence and her arrest, she had been checking on, trying to see what the status was. It's not for lack of responsibility that this matter has prolonged as long as it has. She carries this with her and will carry it with her as a crime of moral turpitude for the rest of her life. And again, especially with the words of that young child, it is one that, as she's explained to me, when she closes her eyes, it pains her and will continue to pain her more likely than not, Your Honor, for the rest of her life.
All right, so this is what the court does not understand, and maybe your client can address these issues, because I'm trying to make a determination on what her sentence should be. But according to the police reports and the stipulation, this is not the first time that she's taken, a bracelet or a charm from a student.
Well, would you mind putting Ms. Vela Torres under oath, Your Honor?
Sure. Can you raise your right hand? You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? All right, you're going to need to speak up.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, if you'll state your name for the record.
Virginia Vela Torres.
All right, so according to the stipulations, this is not the first time you've taken a bracelet or a charm from a student. And this student says that they were in the restroom washing their hands and that you took their bracelet, I'm assuming so it wouldn't get wet. And then they asked you to return the bracelet to them, and you continued, according to the student, brushing them off, wouldn't return the bracelet. So the student goes home to their parent, and their parent is, where's this James Avery bracelet? And then they say, you took it and you wouldn't return it. And then there's this big thing where you called into the office and they say that you broke down crying, saying that you didn't take the bracelet. And of course, they have videos everywhere. They show this student going into the restroom and they say it's plain to see that she had her bracelet. And then they show you going into the restroom. And then she comes out and they say they see the student drinking from a water fountain, and that student no longer has her bracelet. And so the student is saying she kept asking you to return her bracelet and you kept brushing her off. And then there is someone else, according to the stipulations, that they're saying you also took their child's charm. So explain.
It was just a rough patch during COVID. Our hours were cut short. I wasn't working very many hours. My husband's disabled, gets a monthly check just to make ends meet. I found it easy to do that.
But then it's like, how old was this child? All right, she's 5 years old. You're an adult, and she's saying that she wants her bracelet back. And you're just telling her you're not giving it back to her. I don't understand at what point in your mind would you have been thinking, maybe you would have been like, oh my gosh, I really need to return this bracelet to her. But you just—
I was at the time, but
But you just kept brushing off a 5-year-old. What did you think was going to happen? Her family was going to think that she lost the bracelet and probably punish her for losing the bracelet while you have taken her bracelet and then pawned it?
I just figured they would think it would just lost.
You just figured what?
They would just assume she had lost it.
And then people would think that, you know what, we're not going to get her any bracelets anymore because she's not ready to have a bracelet because she's constantly losing items. And then at some point, you would think that maybe your conscience would click in when you see the little girl comes there and they're there with their mother and they're accusing you of taking the bracelet. Then you went to the crying part saying you didn't take it. Was that all accurate on your part? The crying, I didn't take
No, I
it?
just didn't know how to admit that I had hunted it.
Okay. All right. Any questions?
Did you find yourself, Ms. Vela-Torres, just for clarification to the court, did you find yourself having crossed a bridge that you did not know how to get back across?
Yes, I did.
And if you had had the knowledge or the insight or the foresight as how to correct it, would you have done so?
Yes, sir, I would have.
But by this time, it was just the bridge too far had been taken.
Yes, I didn't have enough time to be able to get it back out and return it. Like find a way to say I found it while cleaning, or it was in toys or in between something and return it. I didn't have enough time.
And as you've described to me, this is a punishment that you're dealing with, and it almost with every breath that you're taking.
Yes, because being a childcare provider or teacher was my passion for my career. And because of the stupidity that I did, I could never go back to that career again.
Thank you, Your Honor. No further questions.
All right. Any questions? State.
No.
All right. This is what the court is going to do. The court is going to find you guilty. The court is going to sentence you to 16 months in the state jail facility, give you credit for any time served. This is run concurrent with 70040, 70039, restitution, if any, and also the Cash America Pond. And there's to be no employment as a child care provider. Did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? And did you understand it?
Yes, sir.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right, we can go off the record. Here's the thing. Once you do something and you start being deceptive about it, there more lies follow, and more lies and more lies. And pretty soon everything is spiral out of control. In this case, you had so many opportunities to stop. When she was asking you for her bracelet back, you should have just gave it back to her instead of calculating in your mind, you know what? This family bought her this James Avery bracelet. They're not going to miss it. They have enough money. And then that still didn't stop you. Then you start calculating in your mind, her family's going to think that she's irresponsible. Let them think she's irresponsible. And then they won't give her any more jewelry. Because do you know how that felt for her? You're an adult. You're in a position of power. You're supposed to be trustworthy. Now, who knows? Maybe she's not going to trust teachers anymore. You understand? All right. Good luck to you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
So that was just kind of like the worst human ever. It's almost the worst thing that could happen to your kid at school. Not quite the worst thing, but pretty close. Pretty close. Well, who wants to go see a sob set? Let's go to, Jennifer's got her big TV set up, so let's go to Judge Webster in Kansas.
All right, we are on the record in 2024 TR 617. State of Kansas versus Abel Estrada Jr. Please announce appearances.
State of Kansas appears by Assistant County Attorney Paul E. Dean.
Richard Paul on behalf of Mr. Estrada, who appears by Zoom at a separate location in council.
And how does he wish to proceed today?
Judge, I need to withdraw from this case.
Your Honor, Mr. Estrada filed pro se, I do believe. I know it was pro se filing.
Well, I do notice he's taken a number of filings in his own right without going through counsel. Mr. Estrada, you come back to my recollection, we've met in city court, correct?
Yes.
And now this is that tag and suspended license?
No,
No,
Just
it
a
doesn't.
tag issue, Your Honor.
Just the tag, Your Honor.
All right.
I believe Mr. Paul is requesting to withdraw based upon the essentially sovereign type citizen claim followed by Mr. Abel.
Well, let me,
Mr. Estrada, excuse me.
And also, there's been a total breakdown in communications, Judge. He files his own motions. I cannot represent him.
he's done. Okay. All right, Mr. Estrada, you were appointed an attorney. Apparently at one point you wanted one, or maybe we gave you one and you didn't want one.
No, that's not it.
Excuse me?
I'm sorry, that's not it. He's not, Richard Paul is not seeking my interest. And I put everything in an affidavit. He's not representing me. He's actually judging me before, he's judging me before I even go into court. He's not listening to my paperwork. So he decided he doesn't want to represent me. So I still need to be represented.
Well, Mr. Paul, you're allowed to withdraw.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Is this the last case you have on the docket?
Until 11, Judge. I have an 11, so I'm just going to mute myself and.
That'd be fine. All right. Now, I think you are going to have the same problem with any other attorney that you had with Mr. Paul. Mr. Paul, from this court's experience over the years, is a very competent, diligent attorney. Now, sometimes attorneys have to tell you their opinion of what's going to happen. And you may or may not agree with their opinion, but you do still want an attorney.
I do. I do need an attorney because I don't know how to defend myself with this court. And also, I have a thread of the communications that you can see it. And I'm not getting represented correctly. I'm sure he's a competent attorney, but I proceeded to give all my information, all my laws, and he
All
doesn't.
of your what? Your laws?
The laws, the Constitution.
Your Honor,
So,
Your Honor, could I say something, please? Mr. Estrada, every attorney who the court can appoint to represent you, one, I don't want to see, and I'm sure the judge is the same way, I don't want to see any kind of communication thread between yourself and Mr. Paul, because there could be confidential, well, I'm sure there's confidential and privileged information within that, and you shouldn't be disclosing that to me. That's between you and any attorney you so choose to have represent you. But I believe most attorneys, or all attorneys that the court has available to appoint to you, they are sworn to uphold the Constitution of the United States and the state of Kansas, and not what you filed. That's the attorneys didn't go to your law school, which is kind of what you've set forth. So that's the issue the court's talking about when you're claiming a sovereign citizen. We don't have an attorney who's, I guess, registered to under your rules and laws as you see them. So that's the problem you're going to be running into as far as the attorneys the court has to appoint to you. If I said that correctly, Your Honor.
thank you, Mr. Dean.
I like to say that I'm not a sovereign citizen. I'm just an American, and I'm just being constitutional, and I'm not doing anything. I'm not breaking any law.
Well, sir, you said the attorney wouldn't accept your laws or follow your laws.
No, that's not what I said. I said that,
what did you say? Because I thought you said you were trying to train him on the laws, in essence.
No, I don't. I'm just presenting the law to him, and he doesn't even read my documents that I presented, which is the law.
Did you go to law school?
No, ma'am.
He did. You know that.
Yes, I understand, but he's not being constitutional. That's what I'm saying.
But you didn't go to law school, so are you sure you know what being constitutional involves? I mean, we all can read the Constitution and understand, yes, but there's a lot a lot involved in interpreting that. Do you understand?
I understand what you're saying, ma'am. All I'm saying is that he's using case law, not constitutional law. And he didn't see all my paperwork. He just ignored it. He just blew through it and then gave me the wrong dates. I presented all the documents and he didn't even look at it and ignored the paperwork.
All right, and let me ask you this. You are wanting a trial on this illegal display of a license plate or failure to display, right?
Well, no, I like to address, I'd like to first, if we possible, we can a motion to dismiss with extreme
We're
prejudice.
not going to do that today. All right, I'm going to one more time appoint you an attorney.
Your Honor, could I make a request to the court on this matter?
Sure.
This case carries a maximum sentence of 30 days. Doesn't even have an eligibility or requirement that he be provided an attorney.
Well,
I'm just
there's potential
saying,
jail time.
I would like to have if the court wants. I understand if the court wants to appoint an attorney. Absolutely, don't dispute that. That under the circumstance of the defense that's wanting to be presented, I would ask the court to appoint somebody. I get Mr. McClendon still available.
That's just what I was thinking. He's here in town.
We set this next hearing, give sufficient time, perhaps 60 days, perhaps longer, and we just have it set for a bench trial. And if he doesn't want to cooperate with that attorney, the state would be asking for the court to proceed to trial, whether or not he can get along with the second one or not.
Well, it seems we're on the same page of thinking, counsel.
Mr. McClendon is in the waiting room.
Mr. McClendon.
I can bring him in.
Bring him in. You're in Howard. He's got an office here in Eureka.
Mr. Estrada believes in Wichita.
I thought didn't you tell me you were in Howard?
I'm in Howard.
No, my mistake. I might have been on one of the notary stamps.
Well, you let Kit Collins in. Does Kit Collins want an appointment?
Oh, no, Judge, I just let all the 11 o'clocks in.
Okay. Mr. McClendon, could you join us for a moment? Were you in city court the night that Mr. Estrada, the gentleman under Motorola, had the tag violation?
Yes, Judge. You pointed me to his case briefly, and then Mr. Watson and I had a discussion and figured it would be more proper for a district court case.
Will you take the appointment if I give him back to you?
I guess, Judge.
All right. So you two have already met Mr. Estrada, right? The good news was he got it dismissed for you in city court, but the bad news is for you, it's back in district court. All right. So do you agree, Mr. McClendon, that we ought to just set it for bench trial, or maybe what do you want to do?
Set for bench trial, Judge. I'm familiar enough with the case.
Okay. He has filed some pro se motions. Okay, Missy, give me a trial date, please.
We can resolve those motions at trial, Your Honor.
Sure. I just want to let Mr. McClendon know.
How about January 3rd at 11?
January 3rd at 11. Does that work?
Check my calendar now, Judge. Sorry.
Sure. Thank you. No problem.
That's fine, Judge.
All right. Thank you, Mr. McClendon. I appreciate your willingness to do that. Mr. Estrada, I will continue. You're not on bond, but I will continue the order that you reappear for bench trial January 3rd at 11. And I trust you have Mr. McClendon's contact information and he has yours from your city appointment?
Yes.
You do? All right, thank you. If there's nothing further, we will be in recess on this matter, and you are excused. Mr. Estrada?
So, Victoria, you're saying that the council should have said no. Are they allowed to say no? I don't know. How does the defense attorney, public defender situation work? I don't know. We need to have one in the room. Victoria, you're a judge, right? What do you say, Miss Judge? Let's put the answer in there. Let's go back to Judge O'Donnell. Let's go to Judge O'Donnell. He had another good one there, and let's go there.
The defendant having pleaded guilty by information to one count felony of the 5th degree breaking and entering. Parties are ready to go forward.
Thank you, Mr. Watson.
Thank you, Your Honor. May it please the court. My client is a young woman. She's a mother. She just started LPN school, and she has a very bright future, I think, ahead of her, who unfortunately made a very poor choice that day. Her ex-friend, and I use the term ex because the co-defendant in this case that was handled through another court, she no longer has any contact with her. After this, she's completely cut ties with this woman. But her ex-friend had asked her for a ride to the VA. My client took her. They waited there 2 hours, and I know we had discussions in the court. Your Honor, my client simply didn't understand the law, and I know ignorance is no excuse. And
the problem here is not a misunderstanding of the law, but the problem is, from your client's perspective, what she thought she was doing there in those 2 hours.
I agree with the court, and I was just going to address that. She went there with her friend, and she should have, after a certain amount of time, said, "Why are we here? What is going on? You asked me to drive you here." I agree with the court. Now, I don't have a specific explanation as to why, but my client didn't. And during that time frame, the co-defendant had slashed this woman's tires, and then as soon as the victim came out, attacked the woman. Now, from my client's perspective, she didn't throw a punch, so that was part of the reason why she didn't think she did anything wrong. However, Your Honor, she and I know this is a dispute, but when the attack started, my client did open the door and told her ex-friend to stop and let's get out of here, let's leave. At that point, the attack was over, the co-defendant did get in the car, they drove off, and then my client contacted the police after the fact. She had heard, she thought that they would be looking for her, and I believe she voluntarily turned herself in. Your Honor, clearly, she shouldn't have driven and waited there for 2 hours. Clearly, she should have started turning to her friend saying, "Look, why are we here? What is going on? This doesn't seem right to me." And she didn't do that, Your Honor. She did take responsibility. She was prior to this court, by way of information, she did take responsibility for her actions. Again, I mean, since then, she has just, I think just a few weeks ago, just started LPN school. She's trying to get things together, Your Honor, so she has a future for herself and her children. She is remorseful. She doesn't know the victim in this matter, Your Honor. She doesn't have a beef with her one way or the other. She had no idea who the victim was. She is sorry that the victim got attacked the way she did. She realizes her role in that, in the sense that she took her friend there, her ex-friend, to commit that crime. And yes, it took a little while for it to sink in, Your Honor, but she realizes that yes, she did participate. Yes, she should have. There's a lot of things she could have done in that 2 hour window that may have prevented this, that she didn't do, and that's why she's taking responsibility, Your Honor. And I'm respectfully asking the court, based on the fact that she has no prior felony history, I know in Chambers, some misdemeanors came up in her past, but she has no prior felony convictions, Your Honor. She is in school, she is a mother to young children, and she has taken responsibility for her actions in this case. I'm gonna respectfully ask the court to consider community control sanctions. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. What do you want to tell me before I impose sentence? Stand up.
First, I want to apologize to the victim. I want to apologize for the role that I played in it. I shouldn't have never took her out there to commit any crime. I wasn't aware that she was going over to fight anyone. I wasn't trying to fight nobody. I don't fight anyone. But I did cut ties with her, and a friend would never put me, I shouldn't be ever put in a position where I had to fight for my life, because this is my record. What I did that just don't affect me, affect my kids, my family, and my career. Like, me catching a felony is play a really big role in my life, like with school, with pursuing nursing, with my job. I do phlebotomy at UH. It did pop up, so I do have to tell them what's going on, and I might lose my job.
How did you know this Booker?
She lived in my building.
So why did she ask you to drive her somewhere?
I was off work that day. She called me like, "Can you give me a ride somewhere?" And I'm all like, "Where?" I didn't really have any gas money, so she's like, "I'll put some gas in your car and I'll buy you something to eat." So we went out there, and I'm like, "Where are we going?" So when we got in the car, she's like, "I want to go talk to someone at the VA hospital." First, we went there. She did slash the girl tires. We left, went and got smoothies, and we came back. And the girl was coming outside, and she jumped on the girl.
Okay, but so after she slashed the tire, why didn't you just tell her to get the hell out of your car and leave? If that's what she did.
Right. So when me not trying to be a friend, and me not really thinking of it, not thinking that she's going to jump on someone.
I know, but isn't slashing the tire bad enough in and of itself?
Yeah, it is. And then she was telling me, like, I'm like, why are you, I asked her, like, why are you doing this? And I guess prior to that day, her and the girl got into a fight. The boy, because it's over a boy, they got into a fight that night. And she was like, "Oh, I want to talk to her. I want to explain myself to her."
Yeah, but she slashed her tire. She didn't want to talk to her.
I'm not thinking she's going to fight this girl. Not.
Well, but I mean, if she slashed her tire, then you guys leave and then come back. What did you think she was going to do when she came upon her?
And she told me she wanted to have a conversation with her because, like I said, it's over a boy. She I want to talk to her.
Why would you believe that after she slashed the tire?
I've never seen her fight anybody.
But have you ever seen anybody slash a tire before?
No, I never slashed a tire.
I know, but that's a pretty violent act, right?
Yeah, it is.
So it's incomprehensible that you would think that she just wants to talk to her. Because she was pretty pissed off in order to slash a tire, right?
Right. It's me not thinking the severity of it. Like, I'm just always saying yes or being nice. Like, I'm not thinking she's about to attack this girl. I'm not thinking she's that mad so she's going to attack someone. Like, I ain't never been in a position where nobody just attacking nobody, because I've been a victim before and I've been through it. And somebody came in and jumped on me before.
Your case is a very odd case. Because I don't know what the belief from you or what the disbelief from you. Now, didn't you tell the probation officer you had no record?
Right.
Why did you tell her that?
No, I told her back when I was 19, I told her that I caught a theft case.
What did she tell you?
There was no juvenile record.
When I was 19, I told her.
Okay, why did you tell her you had no juvenile record?
Petty theft.
Huh?
Petty theft.
Okay, but that's a record, isn't it?
That's
you
where
got 3 theft charges as a juvenile. You're in school for what now?
I'm in LPN school. I go to.
When did you
Northern
start
Career.
that?
I started it. I think it was the 15th. I have my offer letter. I mean, my letter. I think it was the 15th.
Where is it?
Right here in Willoughby.
How long of a program is that?
It's a 9-month program. I'll be done in May.
And then you're going to be an LPN?
Yes.
You're not going to have very much success if you're hanging around people like this.
I know.
When's the last, do you still live in the same building as this Booker?
Yes.
Have you seen her since then?
No.
You haven't seen her in the hallway or in the parking lot or
I
anything?
seen her probably like 2 months ago. I seen her. We crossed paths. We don't speak. We don't talk. Nothing. Like we had like a little conversation, and I just felt like she put me in a predicament, like in this predicament.
Well, it's not all, I mean, you may believe she put you in a predicament, but you put yourself in a predicament at the very least when this tire was slashed and then you left and went back to the same place. So you're certainly not blameless in this whole matter, are you?
No.
Right. I mean, it's clear that you didn't get out and inflict a beating on this person.
Mm-hmm.
But had you done what you should have at the very least done, not go back to that place after she slashed a tire, then the beating wouldn't have taken place, right? At least on that day it wouldn't have taken place.
Right.
My guess is Booker would have tracked her down somewhere else, but it wouldn't have happened that day and you wouldn't be sitting here right now.
Right.
So you put yourself in that position.
Right.
Okay. So how old are your kids?
My son, he'll be 10 in October, and my daughter is 6.
And when this happened, where were they?
They were at school.
All right, anything else you want to tell me?
No, that's all.
Mr. DePiero.
Your Honor, the state would join in the recommendation for community control sanctions. The state has had numerous conversations with the victim, in this case, Gloria Noble. She's not here today, Your Honor. We've had regular contact with her. However, she did submit a victim impact statement. Would ask the court to consider everything that she relayed in the victim impact statement. Also, I know that Ms. Noble would want me to relay that she feels very strongly about incarceration as a community control sanction provision. The state would defer to the court's discretion as to all of the terms of community control sanctions. There is no restitution in this matter.
Thank you. All right, I've reviewed the pre-sentence report and the victim impact statement, and listened to the defendant, listened to counsel. I've considered all the provisions in 29, 29, 11, 12, and 13. I'm going to place you on community control for 3 years. Now, what's going on with that case that's in Cuyahoga County?
I'm still going through it with
When's the next hearing scheduled for?
the 26th.
Of this month?
Yes.
What type of hearing is it?
It's arraignment, I think. Or pre-trial, I think. I don't know.
Pre-trial?
I think so.
All right, I'm going to place you on community control for 3 years. You're going to serve 2 days in jail with credit for 2. You're to have no drugs or alcohol, and you'll be screened. You're to obtain and maintain. Are you still working at UH?
No, I do traveling STNA.
What?
I'm a traveling STNA.
All right. And then, so you're to maintain full-time employment or full-time school or a combination of each that equates to full-time? You'd have no contact with Samora Booker or Gloria Noble. You're going to pay the costs and supervision fees with this case. Ms. Crook, anything else?
No, Your Honor.
Now, I'm not putting you in jail. At this point, because of your school and employment, okay? That's the only reason. But you're not, as I said before, blameless in what happened here. You're not blameless in this beating that took place. So you're getting one opportunity. Now, these terms of probation are pretty easy. All you have to do is live your life like you're supposed to live, instead of hanging around dipshits like Booker, okay? And putting yourself in positions, in a position that got you here, okay? Don't leave here blaming Booker for your lot in life as you sit here right now with this felony conviction, because it ain't Booker's fault. It's your fault, okay? So you either get it together, or if you come back for violating these simple terms, then I'll figure out I did the wrong thing, and then I'll just send you to prison for 12 months. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Mr. DePiero, is there anything else?
Your Honor, should the court ever impose a term of imprisonment in this matter, could it be that is the court ordering that it may be consecutive to any other prison term that would be served at the time? Or no?
For what?
Well, we got another felony pending. I don't know. It's typically in the judgment entries. Now, the court speaks to whether or not a potential prison sentence in this matter may be run consecutive to another potential one in the future. I just want to make sure.
Well, if I don't tell her that, am I prohibited from doing that?
There is, I believe, an interpretation of the law that says that you are.
That's dumb. Isn't that dumb?
Well, as to whether it makes sense.
In case law or statute?
I believe it's case law, Judge.
Okay. Well, I understand why you're bringing this up. But that I'm imagining that she's going to get convicted of something else. And that if I didn't tell her if she gets convicted of something else while she's on probation and I send her to prison, then it has to be consecutive.
Well, not necessarily that it has to be, just that it may be. Okay. And certainly the defendant would be presumed innocent of any charge that she faces in the future. But it's not impossible that anybody would be convicted of a felony while they're on probation. Crazy. Yes, Judge.
So, so I will respectfully decline to have that put in the judgment entry.
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
Because I think that's the craziest thing. That's the craziest interpretation that some other people have come up with. So, anything else besides that?
No, Your Honor. Thank you very much.
Watson, anything else?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Just do what you're supposed to do. That's all. And then you're going to get the other entry, Mr. DePiero?
Yes, I will, Your Honor.
All right.
For purposes of the record, I'll just say the state will be presenting a written nollie to the court on the other case pursuant to the agreement.
Okay. Thank you.
All right.
So it was simple enough as just do what you're supposed to do. So I know we're always supposed to be hopeful for the people. I know we're always supposed to think the best of them, but I have a really strong belief that she'll be back in this court. Luckily enough, this judge does a lot of good streaming, so we can hunt it down, see if we can find it. I need to look and check on the dockets on these because there's some I need to go back and check through to see. But I think for some reason I thought she said SCNA. She could have said certified CNA, but I couldn't understand her words right, or I wasn't listening, or I just wasn't paying attention. But either way, I think, you know, nursing goes a nursing assistant, certified nursing assistant, LPN, which is licensed practical nurse, and then RN. And then I think you go up to physician's assistant and going up to doctors and all that, but I don't know. I never dated that high in the food chain on nurses. So CNAs and LPNs they do a lot of the practical work, and the RNs do a lot of the drugs and a lot of the documentations. I know the RNs normally control the floor, so. But that's in Ohio. That's in Cleveland, Ohio, Kimby. And so that's what we've got for tonight. I'm gonna call it a night. I'll have Allie back on tomorrow night with Court Addict, and I'll have an interview with our own Brecken. Me and her talked about mental health, and we talked about children with illness, and how she managed a kid with severe heart issues, open heart surgery at 3 years old, and how Brecken was able to deal with that. It was a really great interview, and I can't wait to show it with you guys tomorrow night. So thank you all, and y'all have a good night.